Beneath the glittering surface of the ocean lies another world. Silent, endless, and crushing. A world where sunlight fades into blackness, and pressure builds strong enough to collapse steel. Down here, in the cold and the dark, life doesn't just survive. It transforms. Creatures that should be small grow to impossible sizes. A shrimp becomes the size of your forearm. A jellyfish stretches wider than a house. And a squid, lurking somewhere in the abyss, can match the length of a school bus. This strange phenomenon has a name: deep-sea gigantism. Scientists have studied it for decades, yet no one fully understands why the deep seems to favor giants. Is it the freezing temperatures that slow time itself? The crushing pressure that changes how life evolves? And despite decades of research, we still don't fully understand why it happens. Is it the cold, the pressure, the darkness, or is it something deeper? Something written into the very fabric of how life adapts when pushed to its limits. Today, we're diving into one of the ocean's greatest mysteries, not just to meet these giants, but to understand what forces sculpted them into the titans of the abyss. Let's start with what we know. Deep-sea gigantism isn't a myth or an exaggeration. It's a documented pattern observed across multiple species living below 1,000 meters. Take the giant isopod. If you've never heard of it, imagine a pillbug, the small creature that rolls into a ball when you touch it. Now imagine that same animal, but the size of a small puppy. That's Bathynomus giganteus, one of the largest crustaceans on Earth. It can grow up to 50 centimeters long and weigh over a kilogram. It scuttles across the abyssal plains, feeding on whatever scraps drift down from above. A scavenger built like armor. Then there's the Japanese spider crab, with legs that can span nearly 4 meters from claw to claw. It stalks the ocean floor off the coast of Japan, moving slowly, deliberately, like a mechanical giant from another age. Its body is small compared to its limbs, but its reach is unmatched among arthropods. In the open water, we find the colossal squid, a creature so elusive that we've only seen a handful of specimens. It's believed to be the largest invertebrate alive, with eyes the size of basketballs, the biggest eyes in the animal kingdom. Those eyes aren't just for show. In the pitch-black midnight zone, bigger eyes mean better vision, the difference between catching prey and starving. Amphipods, those tiny shrimp-like crustaceans you might find in a tidal pool, also undergo this transformation. In shallow waters, they're barely a centimeter long, but in the Mariana Trench, they grow to over 30 centimeters, nearly the length of a ruler. They swarm in packs, scavenging anything that falls to the trench floor. Even jellyfish follow this pattern. The big red jellyfish, or Tiburonia granrojo, drifts through the depths with a bell over a meter wide. It has no tentacles, only thick, fleshy arms that it uses to capture prey. It's a giant among jellies, slow and ghostly, a red balloon in the void. The Deepstaria jellyfish, a rare species found thousands of meters below the surface. It's known for its thin, translucent bell that moves in ghost-like ripples, and for lacking traditional tentacles. When illuminated, its body can appear to glow softly, adding to its eerie, otherworldly look. And then there are the tube worms at hydrothermal vents. Riftia pachyptilla can grow over 2 meters long, thriving in superheated water laced with toxic chemicals. They have no mouth, no stomach, surviving entirely on bacteria living inside their bodies. They are giants not by hunting, but by farming life itself. So why do they grow so large? The answer isn't simple, but it starts with physics. In the deep sea, temperatures hover just above freezing, rarely climbing past 4 degrees Celsius. Cold water does something interesting to metabolism. It slows it down. Chemical reactions that power cells, that fuel movement and growth, all happen more slowly in the cold. For most animals, this would be a disadvantage. But in the deep, where food is scarce and energy must be conserved, a slower metabolism becomes an asset. When your body burns energy slowly, you can survive longer without food. You don't need to hunt as often. You can wait. And waiting in the abyss is survival. But there's another factor at play: oxygen. Cold water holds more dissolved oxygen than warm water. This is critical because larger bodies need more oxygen to function. In the warmth of tropical seas, growing too large becomes a liability. Your cells can't get enough oxygen fast enough. But in the cold depths, oxygen is abundant, allowing tissues to support greater mass without suffocating. Then there's pressure. At 4 kilometers down, the ocean presses with a force of over 400 atmospheres. That's like having a dozen elephants standing on every square inch of your body. For us, it would be instant death. But for deep-sea creatures, pressure isn't an obstacle. It's just normal. Interestingly, pressure might actually favor larger body sizes. Smaller animals have a higher surface area to volume ratio, meaning pressure affects their cells more intensely per unit of mass. Larger animals, with more volume relative to their surface, may handle pressure more efficiently. Their cells are less distorted. Their internal structures remain stable. There's also a principle called Bergmann's rule, observed in many cold environment species. Larger bodies retain heat better than smaller ones because they have less surface area per unit of volume. In a freezing abyss, even a slight metabolic advantage from size could mean the difference between survival and death. But metabolism and temperature alone don't explain everything. To understand gigantism fully, we need to look at what these animals eat, and more importantly, how rarely they get to eat it. The deep sea is a desert, not of sand, but of nutrients. In the sunlit surface waters, photosynthesis drives life. Plankton blooms feed fish, fish feed larger predators, and energy flows abundantly. But below 1,000 meters, photosynthesis stops. There are no plants, no constant supply of fresh energy. Instead, the deep relies on scraps. Marine snow. The slow drift of organic particles from above, tiny fragments of plankton, fecal pellets, bits of dead tissue. It falls like a gentle blizzard, but by the time it reaches the abyss, most of it has already been consumed by creatures higher up. What arrives is a meager ration. Occasionally, something larger falls: a dead fish, a squid, a whale. These are windfalls, rare feasts that can sustain entire communities for months or even years. I've discussed this phenomenon in detail in our previous video on the deep sea, where we explored how a single whale carcass becomes an entire ecosystem. If you haven't watched that yet, you'll find a link in the description after this video. It dives deep into these underwater oases and the strange life they support. In such a food-scarce environment, efficiency becomes everything. And one of the most efficient strategies is to grow slowly and live long. Larger animals have lower metabolic rates per unit of body mass. A giant isopod doesn't need to eat as frequently as a smaller crustacean would. It can go months, even over a year without food. Its size allows it to store energy in the form of fat and tissue, riding out the long periods between meals. This slow growth strategy also means these creatures take years, sometimes decades, to reach full size. The Greenland shark, which inhabits the deep, doesn't reach sexual maturity until it's over 150 years old. It may live for over 400 years, the longest-lived vertebrate known. Time in the deep stretches differently. Growing slowly also reduces competition. If you mature late and live long, you're not fighting with every generation for the same scarce resources. You're playing a different game, one measured not in seasons, but in centuries. Gigantism, then, isn't just about being big. It's about being patient. It's about evolving a body that can endure the longest famine, that can wait in the dark until the next meal arrives, however long that takes. But there's another reason to be large in the deep: safety. In the midnight zone and below, predators are fewer than in shallow waters. There are no great white sharks here, no dolphins, no orcas. The hunters of the deep are specialists, adapted to a world of scarcity. They are patient, ambush predators. The anglerfish with its glowing lure, the dragonfish with its invisible red searchlight, the gulper eel with a mouth that can stretch to swallow prey larger than itself. But even these predators have limits. A giant isopod, armored and the size of a football, is a difficult target. Its exoskeleton is thick, its body dense. Few predators have the jaws strong enough to crack it open. Size here is armor. The same goes for the Japanese spider crab. Its long, spindly legs might seem fragile, but they give it reach. It can strike or retreat faster than smaller crustaceans, and its sheer size discourages most attackers. Why struggle with a giant when smaller, easier prey is available? For squid, size means power. The colossal squid isn't just large, it's aggressive. Its tentacles are lined with rotating hooks designed to grip and tear flesh. It battles with sperm whales in the deep, leaving scars across their skin. Being big, in this case, isn't just defense, it's offense. Even jellyfish benefit. The big red jellyfish drifting passively through the water is too large for most fish to consume. Its thick, fleshy arms contain toxins, and its sheer bulk makes it an unappealing meal. Predators pass it by, searching for smaller, softer targets. There's also a concept called the predation release hypothesis. It suggests that in environments where predators are rare, prey animals can grow larger without the evolutionary pressure to stay small and fast. In shallow waters, being small means you can hide, dart away, escape into crevices. But in the deep, where hiding places are scarce and speed is costly, growing large becomes the safer bet. Of course, gigantism isn't universal. Not every deep-sea creature is large. Many remain small, translucent, nearly invisible. But for those that do grow, size offers a kind of invincibility. In a world where every calorie is precious, why waste energy chasing something you can't easily kill? There's one more piece to this puzzle. The deep sea is old, not just in geological time, but in evolutionary time. It's a stable environment, one that has changed very little over millions of years. While shallow seas fluctuate with seasons, tides, temperature swings, and shifting currents, the deep remains constant. The temperature stays near freezing, the pressure stays immense, the darkness stays absolute. This stability allows species to evolve slowly, refining adaptations over eons without the disruptive pressures that drive rapid change in other environments. Many deep-sea creatures are considered living fossils, species that have remained largely unchanged for millions of years. The giant isopod, for example, belongs to a lineage that dates back to the age of the dinosaurs. It hasn't needed to evolve much because its world hasn't demanded it. This isolation also means less competition. Shallow waters are crowded. Every ecological niche is filled, every resource contested. But the deep is vast and sparsely populated. There's room to grow, both literally and evolutionarily. Without the intense pressure to stay small and agile, species can experiment with size. There's also the factor of reproductive strategy. Many deep-sea giants reproduce slowly, producing fewer offspring but investing more energy in each one. The giant grenadier fish, which can grow over a meter long, lays fewer eggs than its shallow water cousins, but each egg is larger, giving the hatchling a better chance of survival. This is called K-selection, a strategy favoring quality over quantity. In a stable, predictable environment, this works. You don't need to flood the ocean with thousands of offspring hoping a few survive. You can take your time, grow large, reproduce late, and trust that the environment won't suddenly shift and wipe you out. The deep sea, in many ways, is a refuge, a place where evolution can move at its own pace, unrushed by the chaos of the surface world. And in that refuge, giants can flourish. For centuries, sailors told stories of monsters rising from the depths. Kraken, massive tentacled beasts capable of dragging entire ships underwater. Sea serpents, coiling and thrashing in the waves. These weren't just myths, they were attempts to explain the unexplainable. We now know that some of these legends likely came from real encounters. Giant squid, washing ashore or caught in nets, their bodies mangled and decayed, would have seemed monstrous. Their eyes, even in death, are enormous. Their beaks, hidden within masses of tentacles, are sharp enough to cut through flesh. But the reality of deep-sea gigantism is more fascinating than any legend. These creatures aren't monsters, they're survivors. What's truly monstrous isn't the creatures themselves, it's the ocean's scale. The fact that we've explored less than 5% of it. The realization that every time we send a submersible down, we find something new, something no human has ever seen before. The myths were wrong in their details, but right in their intuition. The deep does hold giants, just not the kind we imagined. So why do deep-sea creatures grow so terrifyingly huge? The answer, as we've seen, is layered. But there's something deeper here, something that goes beyond biology. The giants of the deep remind us that life doesn't follow a single set of rules. What works in a coral reef doesn't work in the abyss. Life adapts. It finds a way. And sometimes that way is to grow impossibly large in a place where no one thought size was even possible. We still don't fully understand why some species become giants while others stay small. We don't know why certain groups, like isopods and amphipods, show such dramatic size increases while others don't. We don't know if there's a maximum size limit, or if, given enough time and stability, these creatures could grow even larger. Every dive into the deep brings back more questions than answers. We find new species of giant squid. We discover amphipods in trenches we thought were too extreme for complex life. We film jellyfish larger than we ever predicted, drifting through zones we've barely begun to explore. The ocean is the largest habitat on Earth, and the deep sea is its largest room. More than half the planet's surface is covered by abyssal plains, and we've seen less of them than we've seen of the surface of Mars. What other giants are waiting down there? What adaptations, what strategies for survival have we not yet imagined? The deep sea doesn't give up its secrets easily, but every answer we find reshapes what we thought was possible, and every giant we meet reminds us that the ocean still holds wonders we can barely comprehend. If you want to explore more about the creatures and zones we've mentioned today, check out our previous video on the deep sea, where we journey from the Twilight Zone all the way down to the Hadal Trenches.